Okay. How to get women to make eye contact with me. Practicing my social skills, but no women do it.
Be happy, be friendly. You should be fit, you should be in shape. And because you're most attractive when you're smiling. And one of the best ways to do it is to go do fun things that you love and you enjoy with other people that love enjoying the same kinds of things. Because when you're having fun, you lose yourself in your hobbies and your interests. You're going to smile more. You're going to be more approachable instead of going out with, oh, I got to meet women or give women a stare down contest. It should be go lose yourself in your hobbies and your interests and do something that's fun and exciting that you can just lose yourself in the process of whatever that activity or social event happens to be, and you will get noticed. It's like, if you take there was an article I did this thing's got to be at least 12, 14 years old. It was how to get women to approach you first, and it was talking about, like, say you're in a bar. It's like, and I used to do this with my friends, is that there might be three or four of us and we would stand in a high traffic area, typically around the bar where people have to come and get drinks. And so you typically have like cattle basically going
Mm.
around in a big circle around the bar. And so you go with your friends instead of, walking around. I mean, you can, when you get there, go around and do what's called the mayor campaign, where you take your glass. Hey, what are you ladies up to? Click, clink
Yeah.
your glasses. Oh, we're doing this. We're doing, oh, cool. Well, have a good night. And
Mm-hmm.
then just go to the next group of girls and do that. And then what you'll notice is some of those girls later on, 20 minutes, a half hour later, will come by. And then you and your friends should all be at the bar or some in a high traffic area where like everybody has to walk by you,
Mm-hmm.
just focusing on each other, making each other laugh and have a good time. And what you'll notice is, like, you oftentimes have a part of the bar where there's a lot of dudes in the corner and they've got their drink in front of their chest, covering up their emotional center, this area here, because they don't feel comfortable and they got one hand in the pocket and they're kind of hunched over and they're just staring
Mm-hmm.
like, like a lion on the
Weirdo.
Serengeti, like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta get that antelope over there, I gotta eat one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Standing looking kind of creepy, and the girls are like, they could just kind of
Yeah.
stay away from them, and then you and your friends are laughing, having a good time, and not even paying attention to anybody really. And so what you'll notice is the girls notice that because you're like the only guys that aren't really paying attention to what's going on. And so as you're talking and laughing and you're smiling, you'll notice as people walk by, especially the girls walk by, they'll look into your circle. Like, does they want to know why you guys don't seem to be paying attention to anybody looking at them or checking them out or their friends out, and you seem to be having a good time. Because men that have plenty of women in their lives or they're taken, they're not out looking for girls. They're looking to make their best friend laugh or have a good time or blow off some steam from the work week or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're focused on having a good time with their buddies. And so women will walk by and kind of rubberneck into your circle hoping to get noticed. You're like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just start shooting the shit and asking questions. And even if they're not attractive, what are you girls up to? If you say three fat girls, it's like, who cares? You want to be the life of the party. You
Right.
want to kind of make everybody feel welcome. And so say even three fat girls go, hey, what are you guys doing? You can talk to them, joke, cheers your glasses, and then say, hey, well, I'm going to get back to my friends. Y'all have a good night. And then you just turn and you go back to your friends.
Yeah.
And then they'll move on. And then a few minutes later, another group of girls will come by. And what you'll notice if you do that for about a half hour, 40 minutes, is that as time goes by, prettier and prettier groups of girls come up and start talking to you. And whereas maybe just the average girls start talking to you at first, once women see other women coming and talking to you, especially from like women are maybe sitting down and they're kind of looking over, and every time they look over, you and your friends are talking to a different group of girls, and it starts to look like you know everybody, like you know
Yeah.
all these girls,
Yeah.
and really you're just saying hello to people that walk by your circle. And so what happens? These girls will get up from their table, and they'll walk over and come by your circle to see what all the ruckus about is. Like,
Right.
who are you guys? You own the place? Like, what's going on? And
Mm-hmm.
so because that is the vibe of, like, think about it. Tom Brady goes somewhere or somebody rich and famous, they just have to stand there and hang out with their friends and have a good time, and everybody wants to come up and talk to them. And so it's the same vibe, it's the same energy when you do things like that. So if you join a new yacht club, focus on hanging out with the people at the yacht club or the beach club or the country club, having a good time. And
Yeah.
the girls that are there, other people will find their way to migrate over to your circle versus kind of standing in the corner with your hand in your pocket.
Yeah.
I gotta get a staring contest. Who's gonna
Mm-hmm.
look away first?
Yeah.
That's going to give off kind of a weird vibe. So you got to do fun things that cause you to smile a lot, and especially with other people. If you look like you're having a good time, then you make women feel safe and comfortable, and they'll want to put themselves around you because they'll want to be getting away from the weird, creepy vibe, which there's a lot always in bars and nightclubs.
Right. What about the guys who don't want to spend money on girls though? Because if they're hanging out around the bar, then majority of the girls are going to say, "Hey, you want to buy me a drink?" or they're expecting you to buy them a drink.
It's like, you should buy me a drink.
They're going to run away.
I was like, that's okay.
Okay.
You'll be back. That's, when they say, oh, I've had girls come over and do that back in the day where you say, hang out, why don't you buy us a drink? I was like, why don't you buy me a drink?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm peace out. I was like, you'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 minutes later, they come back. I was like, you're back. What's up?
Yeah.
Are you going to buy me a drink now? And sometimes the girls will actually do it because you're like the only ones that had the balls to say something like that.
Yeah. But I have had a lot of girls that in that situation where a guy rejects or says, "You buy me a drink," they take them as not masculine for wanting to reverse the roles, if that makes sense. Because normally the guy is supposed to pay for the girl and treat her
Where's that written down?
everywhere.
Really?
Yes, in the
The rule book?
in the women guidebook, that the guy is usually the one to treat the girl if they're interested in you. So if a girl went up to a guy and he said, "You pay for me," they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a little boy. Like you can't afford
So,
it."
have you gone up to guys that you really super liked and asked them to buy you a drink and they refused to?
No, I always get offered.
Every single time, 100%. They always
100%.
buy you drinks.
Yes.
Never a guy that you really liked came up and you suggested to buy a drink and he didn't say
I
no.
never suggested anything. I'll just go up and they'll be like, "You want something to drink? Like anything?" I'm like, "No, I don't drink."
Oh, that's right.
Thanks though. I don't drink. But even before when I used to drink, they would ask me like, "Do you want a drink?"
So wherever Caroline's been hanging out, there's a lot of thirsty men. But did you go home with any of those guys that bought you a drink?
No. Not at all.
Ah,
Or if
ah.
anything, I'll give the drinks to my girlfriends too because I've always been in a relationship.
So you're, in other words, you're like, oh, guys should buy girls drinks, and so the guys that bought you drinks, you never went home with any of them, never slept with any of them.
No, I'm just asking to see like for those guys who are hanging out at the bar to be prepared for girls that
I'm not talking about
want
like
them.
sitting at the bar. I'm talking about congregating like in an area where everybody has to walk by.
Oh, because if you're sitting at the bar, it's like immediate question, "Get me a drink" or something.
No, it's like what I'm talking about is you're standing around and like a little huddle, having fun with your friends, and everybody's walking by. Not like sitting
Yeah.
at a bar, but even then, it's like that's
Yeah.
rude for a woman to come up and say, "Hey, can you buy me a drink?"
Yeah, I've never
Because when
been
women
that.
do that, it's like they don't give a shit about you. They just think you're a bitch and you'll buy them a drink. Because for most guys, it works. And then when you're like, when you say something like that, they just go to the next guy and ask him to buy a drink. And sure enough, and then you can have fun with that, especially if she comes back over. It's like, oh, you found somebody to buy you a drink. It's
Right.
like, let me have a sip of that.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. But yeah, no, girls are most likely going to take that drink and then never come back.
Yep. So all those drinks, all that money men have spent on you buying drinks, it never got a single one of them anywhere. Zero.
I've always been in a relationship, so half the time it's like my boyfriend's over there. I get offered a drink. He's like, "Yeah, go get it," because I rather you get spent money than I'm gonna spend money on like a $20 drink. So I'll go get the
So
drink.
you'd be out with your boyfriend and you would let a dude buy you a drink?
Yeah, well, he would say, "Go ahead." I'd be like,
Oh, your boyfriend would be
yeah,
like,
he would
okay.
be like, "Go ahead," but obviously he'll be watching the whole time, make sure there's no funny business. I'll get my drink, say thank you, go right straight to my boyfriend, and my boyfriend would
He's
be
like,
like,
oh, my boyfriend's gonna love this
"Yeah,
one.
he's gonna. Here you go." Yeah.